Thanks for joining us. The conversation around improving Duluth sports facilities is heating up with the weather, and that was evident tonight at Duluth City Hall.
And Northern News Now's Ella Schoberl sat in on a meeting where renovations and even demolition were discussed. Ella, it sounds like not everyone sees eye to eye on this issue.
Yeah, Dan and Laura, parents, coaches, and volunteers of Duluth sports facilities were in attendance tonight at the committee of the whole meeting. Duluth Parks and Recreation discussed prioritizing renovations to six different facilities that bring in the most tourism. Some parents say, though, that this should have been a priority sooner.
Sports tourism is, I think, such a big part of the tourism industry up here.
Derek Montgomery eats, sleeps, and breathes Duluth sports. On top of running a sports foundation with his wife, his kids are in sports year-round.
Baseball players, hockey players, soccer players, gymnasts, kind of just the whole gamut.
Which is why when it comes to sports facilities, he wants his family and others to be involved, emailing nearly 170 people about the committee of the whole meeting at City Hall Monday night.
We obviously want the best for our kids. We live in a town where it's winter 6 months out of the year.
And that Duluth weather causes a constant need for maintenance and indoor options for kids to play the sports they love year-round. A key topic mentioned by Duluth's Athletic Venues Reinvestment Initiative.
Relatively speaking, Duluth has a strong number of outdoor facilities, but due to the condition of those facilities, layered with a challenging climate patterns for outdoor athletics, that our facilities are regularly unusable.
Bennett said that with their current funds of more than $31 million, their goal is to fix 6 facilities, improving parking lots, lighting, and fields to facilities that bring in teams from out of town. That includes places like Heritage Center, Lake Park Athletic Complex, and Wade Stadium. But presenters said the next step is more conversations, not actions.
We definitely have the ability to do that here. We just need all the big players in town, I think, to come together and, find a way to make it happen.
Another key topic of discussion during the presentation was Freiburger Arena in Woodland. Presenters said that with the cities, say the rink is at the end of its life and that they anticipate it to be offline in the next few years. But they said it's not likely it would be replaced with another indoor rink because it would cost nearly all the money needed to fix other facilities.